A company produces small components for air conditioning units, and they model their revenue with that. Revenue, of course, being how much they make. Now, their cost is tied up in that, and this is the function that deals with their cost. So notice this one is quadratic and that one is linear. And we want to determine the price that will allow the company to break even. What that means is revenue equals cost. So basically we're just saying that revenue is going to equal cost, and so if you really want to get technical about it, I could replace either one of these variables with the other one. I'm going to actually replace this R with a C. For the context of this problem, that is perfectly legal because we want these two things to be the same. So we're going to determine the price that will allow them to break even, and we're going to determine what that cost would be. So we need to find the price, which would be X, and find out what that cost would be. So we're going to find out C, or in this case it's R because it's the same, because they broke even. We're going to write the answer as a coordinate, so we have C equals negative 20x squared minus 50x plus 200. And we also have C equals 60x minus 10, and we look at that and we say, well, they're both equal to C, so why don't we set them equal to each other? Well, let's do that. So negative 20x squared minus 50x plus 200 equals 60x minus 10, and we're going to solve that. Well, since it's quadratic, we need to move everything over to one side, and notice I just moved everything from the right to the left. You don't have to do it that way, but that's the way I'm going to do it for the sake of explanation. So we'll subtract 60x and it cancels that. So we're going to subtract 60x here. We're going to add 10 and we're going to add 10 here. Those are canceled, and we have 0 on the right side, and we have negative 20x squared. Now if you're looking a little bit ahead, you'll realize we have a negative in the front, and most people are not used to factoring when there is a negative in the front, and so some people would suggest that we move everything to the right. That's fine, you can do it that way. I did it just so we could go through the next step where we look at it and say, oh my goodness, there's a negative in the front, what am I going to do? And let me tell you what we're going to do. I'm going to get rid of that negative by dividing by negative, but I'm not only going to divide by negative 1, I'm going to divide actually by negative, what goes into all of these? The greatest common factor is 10, actually, so we're going to divide by negative 10. If we divide by negative 10, and don't forget to do it here, technically that's more correct if you do it that way, then we have 2x squared. Ah, good, now it's positive and we can factor. And we have positive 11x. We have negative 21, that's equal to 0, and this does factor. Again, not every quadratic equation factors, but this one does, and so this is a good launching point. We'll stop there.